All right, hello and welcome to the mental health update for June 2024. Ugh, where do I begin? Yeah, May was a pretty crappy month. Not only did the weather suck, but I had to go through some stuff that was, unpleasant. Uh, we'll start off with the colonoscopy. Nobody asked how I was doing after the colonoscopy. I've spoken about it many times. Nobody even asked. I don't know if people don't listen to what I'm saying in the videos, but I had to have a colonoscopy on Wednesday because I'm over the age of 45, and a screening colonoscopy is recommended once you reach over the age of 45, and you're actually supposed to have one every 5 years. Um, so I had a similar procedure way long time ago when I was younger, when my mom was still alive. Actually, it was a couple of years before she passed. I think it was in 1999 or 1998. I had a upper endoscopy and a sigmoidoscopy, which is like a partial colonoscopy. They just go into the colon just a little bit. And I remember having that procedure. And I remember not actually they didn't put me out completely. Back then, they didn't completely put you out. They just kind of sedated you, and I remember parts of it. Um, but that's when I was diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome back then. So I've had it since then, basically. Luckily, like I said, there's medicine, and luckily it's not as bad as it used to be. But anyway, because I was having all kinds of severe stomach issues at that time. Like I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't just get too sick. But anyway, fortunately, with medicine, it's more manageable now. But anyway, so I had the colonoscopy on Wednesday, and the day before you have a colonoscopy, you cannot eat anything, and you can only drink clear liquids. So on the Tuesday, the day before I had the colonoscopy, I couldn't really eat anything. I just drank, and I did go out for a little bit, but came home early because I had to drink the prep stuff. And the prep is basically 2 bottles of this clear medicine that you mix with water, and then you've got to take two. So it's a 16-ounce container of that you mix with water, and then you've got to within the following hour drink two more, um, 16-ounce glasses of water. And I was worried it would make me sick. Luckily, it didn't. But you have to be near a toilet, obviously, because it just basically liquefies everything that's in your intestines and your gut. So cleans it out so they can, when they do the colonoscopy, they can see inside and there isn't stuff in the way. So I had to go through that twice. There were two of those bottles, and it was a little annoying because you had to constantly by the toilet. It's just it's what it is. I know. Well, why are you talking about this? Somebody's gonna say, oh, it's just too much. Well, because it's important, and it's important that people get their colonoscopy. All right, it's gonna save your life. All right. So whatever the case is, Wednesday was the day of the colonoscopy. So luckily I was able to sleep. I was worried I'd be up having to go, but it really it was over by then. The stuff is effective for mainly a couple of hours after you drink it, and then it kind of calms down. Um, and then couldn't drink anything after midnight. So I go into basically it's done. It's actually done at the same exact spot that it was done when I had it back in '90s. And of course, I hadn't been in the hospital inside the actual main lobby of the hospital in that area since my mom died. So it was a little emotional, but because that's where my mom died. She died at the hospital in Mineola of breast cancer that had spread to her organs, basically. That was back in 2000. So anyway, they're very good. They always ask a million questions whenever you get changed. You lie down in the bed, and then I get there an hour earlier, and the procedure was right on time, and saw the doctor before the procedure, and then go in the procedure room. Anesthesiologist is very nice, starts counting a little bit, and then that's it. You wake up. You wake up after it's done. It's a wonderful thing because that was actually easier than the prep. I wasn't really. I was worried I'd be in pain or discomfort afterwards. I was not. And the doctor told me she did find 2 polyps. It's routine that they usually do find polyps during a colonoscopy. So they did find some, and they were all for testing. She didn't think that there were anything to worry about, but we'll see. They were mostly on the small side. One was like what, like 4 millimeters, and another one was a little bit bigger, I think at 10 millimeters. But those are the only two. But she did say that even though I did that whole thing cleaning out, they still couldn't see the walls of the intestine because they were stained with, you know, matter. Let's put it that way. Or I don't want to get any more graphic than that. So she recommended that I go back and have another colonoscopy in 2 years instead of 5. Uh, so whatever the case was, hopefully everything's fine with those polyps. They're very common. Most people, when they have a colonoscopy, they will find a polyp or two. That's the whole point of the colonoscopy, to get any polyps while they're small before if they're not removed, then they're going to grow and they could become cancerous in the future. So that's what I'm saying. This is a procedure that can really save your life and be very important for your health. And if you're over the age of 45, I highly recommend that you get a colonoscopy. Some people do the Cologuard thing, but that's not nearly as accurate. I know it's not the most pleasant experience, but it really wasn't terrible. And if it saves your life, I mean, compared to the kidney stone thing, that was hell. This is easy, all right? So, and you feel a little tired after you wake up. You're back to yourself in a couple of hours. It's really, you just can't eat, or you can't drive or anything like that. And you have to have somebody pick you up. So luckily I had somebody pick me up. But anyway, whatever the case was, hopefully everything is okay with that, and that is over with. And now it's time to talk about all the crap that I have to deal with my living situation. Well, we all know that all the issues going on in my apartment. So the latest thing that wound up happening it's almost been a month now. I was getting out of bed and I felt something sharp digging into my leg from the mattress. And it turns out that you'll see here on the screen that this mattress, which is only, I think they got it for me in 2020, my agency, all right? There's part of being in the program is they're supposed to provide you a bed, all right? So, because it replaced a mattress that was like 6 years old or 7 years old or whatever, that was starting to fail. But this one they only got, so there's a big metal spring sticking out of my freaking mattress, all right? It almost cut me, all right? And of course I took a picture of it, and you see it on the screen there, but they got this mattress from Bob's. Bob's Discount Furniture. When they delivered this thing back in 2020, I remember the guys coming here, and this time, that was the last time the intercom worked. I think it was 2019 or 2020. And they're just saying, "Bob, is the Bob here?" They barely spoke a word of English, the guys that brought it up. And they were supposed to take the old mattress. They never did. Terrible customer service. Whatever the case is, this mattress is junk. Get like 2 or 3 years out of it. It's shot already. Because Bob's Discount Furniture is garbage. So that's, again, my agency got taken over. Back when I had my other mattress before this one, it was still the old agency. All right. Well, I'm not gonna. I'm not. I'm the old agency, Millilot Center. That was my old agency, and then it became Charles Evans. And ever since it became Charles Evans, why did it merge with Charles Evans? Because of the cuts in New York State to the funding. A lot of emergency agencies had to merge just to survive, because New York State cut funding for those agencies. At the time, Governor Cuomo. Hey, it's just another part of the plan. So anyway, so whatever the case is, I let my agency know. I let the woman at my agency know about this. The woman that is assigned to me. And let her know. And I sent her an email. I've already been telling her about all the other things wrong in the apartment. Luckily, I was able to push that spring back into the mattress. I still have to sleep on this mattress, and I'm worried that thing's going to come out and cut me again. And I have to put like an extra blanket on top of the mattress because I'm afraid it's going to come out and cut me again. He's sharp, If I got injured from that, that would be a lawsuit right there, all right? And the other thing is this window I've got in my bedroom. If I try to open the window, it comes out of the frame, meaning that I'm opening the window. I mean, I could demonstrate it for you, but I'm afraid of it falling on me. When I'm opening the window starts tilting back as I'm opening it or closing it toward me, getting ready to fall on me. All right? Told her about that. Um, Intercom doesn't work, of course. That's broken. We have a front door that's also not doesn't close. People don't. The spring in the front door is broken, so they don't close. People don't close it all the time. Um, and then a lot of times there's no hot water. You got to wait like 3 minutes for hot water. So these are all the different things I've got going on in the apartment itself. Not to mention it faces a brick wall. Not to mention the neighborhood is falling apart. Not to mention all of that. All right. So she comes for a visit, and I show her all this stuff. And honestly, because they're not fixing. Nothing is getting fixed in this apartment. They haven't done anything about this bed, which could hurt me. I haven't heard a damn thing almost in a month from them on this. The window that could fall out of the frame, I could open the window, forget it could fall on my head and kill me or seriously injure me. Imagine a window falling out of the frame and just falling on you. All right? This is the way people in supportive housing have to live in New York. This is the way we're treated. We're treated worse. We're treated like dirt or worse than dirt, in my opinion. All right? And then you have these narrow-minded people that all over Long Island that think I don't deserve to have a decent place to live. We all know those narrow-minded people. We all know who they are. We all know who they are. Living it up in their own little world there, their preppy little world they have down there, in their little enclaves on the South Shore. Well, I get to deal with all the problems here. And they don't think I deserve to have a decent apartment to live in. All right? I mean, you try living somewhere with a brick wall, an alley, you can't breathe in here. I got to constantly I have the AC going, basically. I'm telling you, I probably consume 3 times the amount of electricity for this apartment than an apartment that of the similar size that would be, facing the outside, just because of the way it's laid out. All right. So, one of the cases, yes, I'm probably going to be taking my agency to court. The first thing I have to do is find a lawyer, and I keep talking about it on here, but I gotta, I'm a procrastinator. I procrastinate. All right, I say I'm going to do something, and I don't do it right away, or it takes me a long time to do it. It's part of my illness. All right, but I really have to take this step and find a lawyer to take them to court. All right, because people in supportive housing deserve decent apartments in decent neighborhoods. They're not asking for luxury. Apparently on Long Island, decent apartment in a decent neighborhood is considered a luxury. Just like a decent house in a decent neighborhood is considered a luxury. That's how they're trying to get rid of us. That's how the plan works. We don't know how the plan works. I haven't been to New Jersey since I think I was last there in mid-February. Yeah, I went for a hike at Four Seasons. I haven't been there since mid-February. Why haven't I gone there in I don't know. I hardly go there. I go there a couple times a year now. I try to avoid it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it because I know that's where I'm going to wind up if I can't overcome this. I'm going to deal with the heat. I'm going to have to deal with Jason P&L. I'm going to have to deal with completely unfamiliar area. You know what I mean? It's not right. It's not right now. I don't have to live on the South Shore. I'm even open to living in another part of Mineola. I am. All right. I really am. Certain things turn me off about the South Shore. The way those people behave, their arrogance, they embrace Donald Trump. I mean, and just today they were there again, and this. Now they know that I'm documenting what they're doing, and of course they're yelling and shouting and shouting. I don't know what they're saying at me. I'm sure terrible things. And flying Confederate flags. I mean, they want to bring slavery back. This is the South Shore of Long Island. So there's different stages to the plan. Stage 1, obviously, you're stuck in a really crappy housing situation that keeps getting worse. That's stage 1. Stage 2, the people. The people here are just so arrogant. And, it seems like Long Island is like Trump's base or something. And I know the Jersey Shore generally is a very Republican area, but people there don't act like they do. I don't see them flying Trump flags everywhere or Confederate flags. I don't see any of that when I'm in Ocean County. I don't see that kind of behavior, but this is because they're from Wall Street, they're arrogant. It's part of the Wall Street culture that's just taken over Long Island. People just, behave this way, just, it's disgusting. And then I'm trying to meet other people. So I'm trying to meet other people on Long Island with a common interest, like hiking groups and stuff. I've done it about 4 times, and it hasn't worked out. I haven't met anyone. I find that I can't connect with the average Long Islander. I go on the hikes, and some of them in the Pine Barrens. It doesn't seem like anyone's really appreciating the Pine Barrens like I do. They're not looking at the pines. And, a few hikes, people say, "Oh, this area is boring." Rockborough Pine Barren area, and then this other guy, one of the other people, is hiking, is like, and they hike so fast. It's like I thought I walked fast. These people really walk fast. It's more of an exercise for them. They're not really there to take in the scenery so much. Whereas I'm there to take in the scenery. And I have yet to meet anyone else on Long Island that can really appreciate the Pine Barrens in a casual way when I'm hiking. I haven't. A lot of the times people will see me taking pictures, and they're like, "What are you taking pictures of?" I'm just taking pictures of the pines. They're beautiful. So they don't understand that. Yet, when I'm in New Jersey, it's a completely different reaction. It's a completely different reaction. They're there too. They do appreciate the woods there. It's just so different than Long Island. It really is so different. I don't know what has happened to Long Island to become such a nasty, hate-filled place where people just don't even appreciate nature and they just want to keep cutting down trees and stuff. I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand it at all. I really don't. It breaks my heart. It does, because Long Island is my home, and I don't want to really live anywhere else. I'm used to everything here: the public transportation, the weather. This is kind of like where I'm suited to live. But if it means just being stuck in this situation and not being able to, improve things, then is it really worth it? Especially when I'm living somewhere that's bad for my health, bad for my physical health, and bad for my mental health. And I have an agency that basically the people that run it, they don't give a shit. They're in their own little preppy little happy world. They don't care what we're going through. They don't care at all. That's why we want to take their ass to court, or at least try to. Lawyers cost money, and I know that. And I've got to find a lawyer that would do this free of charge. But I'm done playing. I gotta try to take them to court. They need to be taken to court. All right? They can't get away with treating people like this. Nobody cares about this. News 12 doesn't. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the way people with mental disabilities are treated in New York State. Nobody gives a crap. All right? You hear people saying, "Oh, we got to improve mental health funding. We got a crisis. We got a crisis. We got a crisis," but nobody's doing anything. They just talk about it. Just like we have a housing crisis. Well, they just keep talking about it. And then the governor, they're building this new housing project in East Farmingdale. 10% of the apartments will be affordable. 10%. Yeah, 10%. In New Jersey, it's 30%. Everybody talks about this. Everybody talks about it. But we got to do what New Jersey's doing. Why does New Jersey not have... They have a problem with the housing shortage, but it's not as severe as here. Why? Because they have a 30% mandate law. Every town in New Jersey, every municipality of all the housing construction, 30% or a third must be affordable and reserved for people on lower incomes and people with disabilities. 30%. That's a law in the state of New Jersey, but not in New York. That's why the governor is not really serious. Nobody's serious about fixing this mess. Nobody. Because that's the solution. But the snobs will never have it. because then they'd have to allow us in. And they don't want to allow us in. They fight tooth and nail to keep us out. So how am I going to overcome this? One, finding a better place to live, whether that be in Mineola or Rockville Center or Lynbrook. Finding friends and finding a significant other that can appreciate me and understand understand my love for the Pines. That's how I can overcome it. But if I can't find those things, then really, what's the point? I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't feel safe in this area at night. It's this side of Mineola is just dead at night. It's dead. Even and things are not being taken care of. We have businesses, the way it is here in Mineola. It could be worse, but this area is certainly on a downward trajectory. And the only areas on Long Island that are on the upswing or maintaining their quality of life are full of those white finance professionals. Right? So what are you supposed to do? You got to fight to live with them, but they don't want to let you live with them. And that's the crux of the plan. That's how the plan works. That's how the plan works. And I'm trying to fight something that it's basically like, I feel like I'm the Mets right now, because the Mets have been losing a lot lately, and it's like I got to dig myself out of this hole. It's impossible. I mean, the science is against me here. I'm a science-based person. I look at the science, and the odds are against me trying to survive on Long Island, because more and more of these people are just they're gonna keep coming out of the city. They're going to keep doing what they're doing, setting up their enclaves, and all the rest of the areas that aren't enclaves are going to have all the illegals and the criminals dumped in them. It's funny. These people hang out with the Trump flags. But do you mow your own lawn? Because if you don't mow your own lawn and you're hiring landscapers, then there's probably a good chance you're hiring illegals. So these people are just hypocrites. They're hypocrites. And then they had a nerve to ruin the car show for me. To show up at that car show, I'm going there looking at the old cars, thinking about the way things used to be before we had such a divided country. When I was growing up in the 80s, all right? And people are like, well, things changed in the 80s, yeah, but still, compared to today, it was better. I don't need to see these political flags. I don't need to see any of it. It doesn't belong in a car show, but these people, like I said, they're so arrogant and they control everything. Yeah, they even control the MTA. They control everything because they're connected to Wall Street. And Wall Street has total and absolute control of every facet of life here in this area, Long Island and New York. And Wall Street's backing Trump. All right? So, I don't really want to get into the whole political thing. I cannot stand Joe Biden either, by the way. Am I allowed to dislike both Trump and Biden? Because they both stink. All right? But Trump is worse because Trump has violated the law. He's shown contempt for the people. He doesn't respect a lawful election. That's dangerous. You can't have somebody who's that kind of person in charge of a country like the United States. And if he does regain power, this country's, it's over, man. You're going to be like living in Russia. All right? Try to get it through most people's heads about this. I'm not in love with Biden. I can't stand the limousine liberals. They both are looking out really for the same people. Biden's Wall Street too, really. But the Wall Street on Long Island especially backs Trump. They really, But Biden's Wall Street guy too. They all care about Wall Street. They are all controlled by Wall Street. Very few out there that aren't. Very few. There are very few people out there. Very few what I would call good elected officials that I like. And on the Democratic side, when it comes to an elected official I still like Phil Murphy. All right? Even though I don't necessarily agree with everything about what's going on with New Jersey Transit right now, Phil Murphy has shown himself to be a governor that cares about the people of New Jersey, fighting congestion pricing, all this stuff. All right, he's made some mistakes because nobody is perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. On the Republican side, I think Ed Romaine, a Republican, has done a good job in Suffolk County. All right, he's taken his name off a lot of the county signs. He's looking out for Suffolk County Transit. He's a good record for the environment. Um, and yeah, I'd be open to living in parts of Suffolk County. Babylon, of course, would be great, but we all know that's an enclave. But anyway, you know, it's about the individual. And unfortunately, on Long Island, it seems the arrogance, in particular, and I've had lots of comments now telling me, "Oh, you got to get out of Belmore. We don't want you in Belmore." Who do these people think they are? I'm going to go to Belmore as much as I damn please. And they're going to yell, they're going to scream, you know what? Next time, maybe I'll film you. Next time, maybe I'm going to walk up to you and I'm going to get in your face. If they do anything to me, it'll be on camera. I'm not going to be intimidated by these people. That's their tactic, is to intimidate. That's Wall Street. That's right out of the playbook of Wall Street right there. All right. How dare you tell me? I grew up in that area. I spent most of my life growing up in North Wantagh and that area. Belmore, Levittown, Massapequa, that whole area. All right. Don't you dare tell me I can't go there. Let's go to hell. These people are just so arrogant. It makes me so mad just talking about them. They're just so arrogant, heartless, intolerant, racist. What happened to the island I grew up on? As Billy Joel would say, there ain't no island is left. There's no island left for islanders like me. And that's what these rich snobs are doing. They're taking away our island, conquering all the good towns, making sure we're not allowed there. They don't even want us going there for the day. And then all the towns that are diverse, full of, more down-to-earth people, well, we're going to put all the illegals in. We're going to neglect the infrastructure. We're going to put the criminals in there too. Make sure all the new businesses open in our little preppy enclaves. Well, your businesses stay closed. And all that stuff. But I will say this, Mother Nature is the final. Mother Nature always has the final word. There's all these people living on the South Shore. It's only a matter of time before a big hurricane comes and causes a lot of saltwater flooding. And, I guess they think that their money is going to protect them somehow. We'll see. After Sandy, it sure seemed like the South Shore became even more popular than ever, but Sandy was nothing compared to what's coming. Nothing at all. Anyway, I just wish people would have, I respect people with a differing opinion. I'm not, look, you have the right to support Donald Trump if you want to. But I just don't like the arrogance. The honking, the signs. It's just a public parking lot. I don't like it. You're not supposed to be doing that in a commuter lot that's for commuters for the train to parking, and then to show up at a car show. Here we go going on and again. I'm giving these people way too much attention than they deserve. But they're just part of the same faction that's basically trying to get rid of me, trying to get me out of Long Island. Let's not forget about Andy Quito and all the others, too, out there. Part of the same thing. Part of the same faction. The Wall Street Cartel. Maybe that's what we'll call them. The Wall Street Cartel. I think that's a good name. Wall Street Cartel. Yeah. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get us out. I'm going to keep fighting, though, because Long Island's my home. I'm used to living here. I'm rooted here like a tree. They keep fighting, but time is running out because there's only so much I can take. It's bad for my health, and honestly, my health is important. And the pictures on the screen, by the way, the Pines were probably going to wind up having to go live someday if I can't overcome this. Really sucks. Really sucks, but I'm going to keep fighting. Mother always said, you just don't accept that life isn't fair. Well, I don't. I keep fighting it. And I'm going to keep fighting it. It's not fair. I'm going to keep fighting it. Keep on keeping on. You know? I don't deserve to have to deal with these problems in my living situation. Right? I don't deserve to have an apartment with a view outside. I deserve to have a bed that I can sleep on that's not going to try to kill me with the springs sticking out of it. I deserve to have a place where I can have an intercom so I can have deliveries. I deserve to have a clean neighborhood and live in a neighborhood where people actually care about the appearance. You know, you're in Rockville Center, all those apartment buildings, they're all, you know, they look nice. But here, everything, the appearance of everything here in Mineola is just decrepit. Nobody cares about the way anything looks. Is that considered luxury? These basic things? Really? People here have a twisted way of thinking. I'll tell you that. But anyway, it's getting to be 35 minutes in this mental health update. So, I guess that will be it. You know, I know I'm going to have to face going back to Jersey. I know it. I haven't gone there because I just don't want to avoid the feelings talking about the plan brings. But sometimes you just have to face it because there are some beautiful pines there. And I'd like to see them, you know. So I'm just going to have to deal with it. And the last time I was there, the time before, I cried a little bit. Probably going to happen again. Gee, I'm thinking about the plan. I'm getting upset. That's what always happens. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm done. That's it. Thanks for watching.